As much as the rest of the country finds Northeast quite isolated and unknown, also in the areas, at least in Manipur, I can say that there are groups of people who are trying to bring about some change, and very often they are working at very high odds and with a lot of fear and difficulties. So what I'm thinking is very concretely, if it is possible, and we have been documenting this violence against cases for many, many years, and if we can prepare what HRNN is also very good in doing, some kind of a public hearing of these cases, starting from military violence to domestic violence to workplaces issue. And if we can get also some of the bright legal minds to not only show the way beyond where people are struggling, but also to excite the people and the stakeholders to bring about. In the Armed Forces Special Powers Act, we have done this with the HRNN help. So we will be from the civil society on the ground. We'll be very happy to make a preparation of that kind of a public hearing. And if we can do a public hearing and show some way forward, I think it will be a lot of synergy will bring in here. And in a group like this, we can also look for people who would be interested in coming and also interacting at a personal level, not just at a Facebook level. I'm all for Facebook, but again, there is a lot of difference when you actually go to the field. And we from our side will be very happy to put together some kind of a public hearing, at least in Manipur, but in Nagaland and Assam, which are also part of organizing this, can also be helped along. We'll be very happy to do something like this at the Northeast level, and I want to put this as a concrete proposal that we can really move forward. Then the ideas is not just about Rosemary, me, and Wandita, but it will be shared to a critical mass where it is possible for it to move, to bring about, take some initiative. And I just wanted to make a very concrete proposal.
पिछले 2-3 दिनों में हमने एक पॉइंट बार बार सुना कि लीगल एजुकेशन और मेडिकल एजुकेशन में कितना जरूरी है जेंडर सेंसिटाइजेशन का। और इसमें एक पॉइंट हम लोग मिस आउट करे थे कि सोशल वर्क एजुकेशन में भी जेंडर सेंसिटाइजेशन कितना जरूरी है। क्योंकि मैं टाटा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ सोशल साइंसेज से पास आउट हुई थी, मुझे पता है कि हमारे क्लास में 80% लोग, हमारे कॉलेज में डेवलपमेंट स्टडीज, वुमेन स्टडीज, सोशल वर्क, ऐसे काफी इनोवेटिव कोर्सेज हैं, बट 80% लोग माइनिंग कंपनीज, बड़े बड़े कॉर्पोरेट्स ज्वाइन करना चाहते हैं। खाली 20% लोग होंगे जो ह्यूमन राइट्स का काम करना चाहेंगे, जो ग्रास रूट्स लेवल पे, रूरल लेवल पे काम करना चाहेंगे। तो उस टाइम हम इसी एक हिपोक्रेसी के साथ, एक सोशल वर्क इंस्टीट्यूट में इस हिपोक्रेसी के साथ डील करते रहते थे कि हमारे लिए सही रास्ता क्या है। क्या हम उन मिडिल क्लास एस्पिरेशंस में गुम हो जाए कि हमें पैसा कमाना है, हमें एक स्टेचर चाहिए उस इकोनॉमिक लेवल का, या हम लोगों के हक के लिए लड़ें। और आज मैं जो उन 20% ह्यूमन राइट्स वाली कैटेगरी की तुलना उस बाकी 80% के साथ नहीं करूंगी, पर मैं उन लोगों के साथ करूंगी जिनको मैं अभी देख रही हूँ। इस रूम में अभी मैं 100 लोगों को देख रही हूँ जो एक ही भाषा बोल रहे हैं, और ये कितना जरूरी है आज ये साबित हो गया है। क्योंकि आज आप लोग सबने उस जज को सुना, आज ये भी साबित हो गया कि ये जजेस का सेंसिटाइजेशन कितना जरूरी है ना। क्योंकि जो पितृसत्तात्मक जो सोच है वो इतनी गहराई से लोगों के दिमाग में बैठ चुकी है कि आदमी लॉयर बन गया है, जज बन गया है, पर सोच नहीं है। और हमें उस स्टेज पे इंटरवीन करना है, ये जरूरी है। मैं पेसिमिस्टिक नहीं हो रही हूँ, हमें अभी भी जजेस के स्तर पे, लॉयर्स के स्तर पे, एक्टिविस्ट के स्तर पे सेंसिटाइजेशन जारी रखना है। पर अर्ली स्टेज पे मेडिकल, लीगल और सोशल वर्क एजुकेशन में ये सेंसिटाइजेशन रखना बहुत जरूरी है, और काफी लोगों को ह्यूमन राइट्स इश्यूज पे काम करने के लिए हमें प्रोत्साहित करना चाहिए। और जितने भी चीजें हमने पिछले 3 दिन में डिस्कस की, वो हम लोग एक कॉमन प्लेटफॉर्म में, संध्या ने एक अच्छा सजेशन दिया है कि हम एक गूगल ग्रुप फॉर्म कर ले, एक लिस्टसर्व फॉर्म कर ले, जिससे हम सब एक ही प्लेटफॉर्म में आ जाए। ये काफी डूएबल है, काफी फिजिबल है, और इसको हम तुरंत ही कर सकते हैं। पिछले 3 दिनों में जितने भी रेजोल्यूशंस आए हैं उनको तुरंत आप लोगों के साथ शेयर करेंगे। और जैसा कि शादिया ने काफी खूबसूरती से बताया कि हम इसको आगे बढ़ाना चाहेंगे, हम इसको इन 3 दिन में खत्म नहीं करना चाहेंगे। तो इसके साथ मैं आप लोगों से प्रार्थना करूंगी कि आप लोग हमारे साथ टच में रहें और एक्टिवली हमारे इस स्ट्रगल में एक आंदोलनात्मक रूप से हमारे साथ जुड़ेंगे। थैंक यू।
Before we go, I want to make a little suggestion. We've been thinking last 3 days, what can be the outcome of a meeting like this? One is we can have a platform, a loose association. It's all right, but can we go one step higher? What I want to suggest is, if you agree, is that we do a national network of survivors, activists and lawyers to combat violence against women. Set up the network, establish the network in a democratic and transparent manner, where all the persons present here, present in the meeting, those who have left, representing organizations. And I think if we can put up that slide again, Selena, the main slide, if we can just put it up. Roughly about 50 organizations with great warmth in their heart, without any doubt, without any questioning, agreed immediately to coordinate. So at least with this core group, and maybe you have expanded some more, we actually established the network, and I put a sequence, right? Survivors, activists, and lastly the lawyers, right? It's a legal thing to do legal work, to combat violence against women in law and otherwise, but we do it this way. We can get it. One thing more I want to, just 1 second, Pankaj. Raising funds, which is critical, right? Let us suppose, say, in every state you need one lawyer, one activist. Bablu spoke just a little while ago. He says we really need. HRLN's perspective, half is to build the HRLN network. But the other half is to build legal capacities of existing organizations. The lawyer need not be with HRLN. The lawyer will be with an organization, work for an organization. It doesn't matter. In our perspective of things, it doesn't matter. HRLN's name, not HRLN's name, lawyer, not lawyer. So if Bablu's organization has a strong lawyer and is able to do legal aid work, it will be part of the perspective of our entire network. He said, can we get a lawyer? And he's identified a very fine lawyer who's handled the torture cases. So I think immediately we apply our minds and we say, all right, start him. You know, Himanshu made a suggestion just now. Soni Sori wants a lawyer with him. I asked him, Himanshu, you have a lawyer in mind? He said, yes. Soni Sori's cousin or something, right? Who's a 1 year practicing lawyer, 2 years practicing lawyer, and part of the CPN. CPI. Activist, fighter, but lawyer. And she wants to practice. Great idea. So we start. Okay, so maybe we, if I can suggest something, that instead of, HRLN making a proposal or some other organization making a proposal, generally what happens is raising of funds is done in a very, you have a meeting and then raising of funds is done like in some other way. We want to do it in a democratic, transparent way with all our colleagues. We will write to whoever is available for funding and say the undersigned 50, 60 organizations at the end of this meeting decided to build this network, and they decided to ask people to give us resources, right? For what? Let's say, suppose one lawyer, one social activist in each state to run the coordinating center of that state or whatever, right? And then we write. So if you agree, first we'll choose a name. The name may not, National Network of Survivors and Activists and Lawyers on Violence Against Women. That should be the bottom line, no? But there should be maybe one name, and then the bottom line can say that. And if you agree that we do raising of funds, approaching foundations for money or approaching government or whatever it is, that we do it in a collective and transparent way, so that the money is used right across the country. In every state, we use the money to build our legal capacity. Yeah. So this is my suggestion at the end of the day. If you feel it's all right, you can even clap for me if you want. No, I don't know if it's all right. I'm just kidding. But something should come out, right? at the end of the meeting, something very practical should come out and benefit all. Basically, that's the idea, right? So we take suggestions and few another 5-10 minutes. Does everyone broadly agree with this idea? Broadly.
Yes.
We're not saying that. Is anybody opposed to this idea? That it's not a good idea? So don't take it as final. We're not asking people to decide now because many people have read. But we'll send out an email to all those who participated saying this. And we'll set up, like they said, a Google group or whatever. Yeah? We'll set up whatever. I'm technologically very challenged, but we'll set up a system so that everybody sees the mail. And once it's agreed, and you'll choose a nice name, then we'll have a name. And then we'll draft a letter of appeal to everybody to give resources. Somebody may say, I'll give computers or something like that. So whatever it is we can get. And then we'll have a team, a core team from each, let's say each organization, the main organization will have a core team and decide how to use whatever comes in. If computers come in, then you can say, okay, use it like this, use it like that, and so on. So broadly, this is all right? Broadly? Yes. So we'll end on this note, and if anybody has some suggestions, we'll take them now. We'll start in the back. You need the mic. I want to, just before you start, I want to particularly mention Jubilee. If you can come here, Jubilee, 2 minutes only. 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Like the country is like that, silent people who work all the time. She worked very hard on the acid attack. She made the acid attack meeting possible. And you say a few words about what you feel we should do.
I'm happy with just ending.
I like what. Yeah. But I must say, because she helped really build that acid attack meeting very beautifully, and what a beautiful meeting it was, And I think the acid attack survivors went back with the feeling that at last we are building a network again. They had pretty bad experiences, and it's largely due to the effort that you all put here, you and the rest of the team. Thank you, Julie.
First of all, I would like to congratulate all of you for putting up this wonderful effort and proposing all these suggestions. One thing that strikes me is the coordination and engagement with regional and international actors, other international human rights organizations who are engaged in similar sort of activities. I didn't see anything being discussed about that. I'm wondering if there is anything that can be a part of your strategy. Particularly in case of India, it is very important, as most international NGOs who have foreign funding are not allowed to operate here. And in any struggle as this, the support and engagement with international actors is very important. In my view, particularly for 2 reasons here. First, for people like Himanshu and others who are operating in these conflict zones, where they primarily face a threat from the state and the government agencies, some sort of involvement or support from international actors is very, very important. We have many instances where the state agencies have managed to suppress and crush all those voices where there is no international scrutiny and monitoring. And secondly, as Colin alluded to, is funding. All these activists and organizations who are working in rural India, funding is a great limitation on the way they operate. Access to international organizations will help a great way in resolving that issue. So I would like to hear your views on what do you want to do about challenging the Indian state government's laws on prohibiting coordination with international actors and organizations.
Well, you help us as much as you can. And you know from where you come, right? So talk to them and say, okay, I've been through this wonderful meeting and we really need resources. But help as much as you can, that's all. We all agree that we must, although we may not depend on international NGOs entirely, we might raise money locally. We might go to corporations and say, listen, corporate social responsibility, this is the thing that you must support. We don't know, because if you ask a corporation, give money for Chhattisgarh, they'll say no. So we don't know really. But we'll raise money from whatever legitimate, legal source, good source is available. We'll take money for work. We'll try and raise money for work. It's not easy at all. It's not easy at all. But please help us in whatever way you can. Everybody take the initiative on their own. Try and do it as much as you can. We've had lots of friends who helped us, Gopal, I want to particularly mention. He's a very well-known filmmaker, done so many films. And I'm so surprised that he spent 3 days with us and, he brought his camera and did the work. I mean, I don't have words to express our gratitude to people who put in, effort to make this meeting. So many of you traveled, some traveled 1 or 2 days by train to reach here in this kind of heat. So we really are grateful for all those, who've taken such an effort. Please help us in whatever way you can. And you can talk to any one of us, okay? We're a collective organization. So say, listen, I've got this idea, I can do this. Join the organization. Is there anybody else who'd like to say something? Yeah, Dina.
Sir, I have a suggestion. As you said that it will be a network of survivors, activists and lawyers, I would say that from the testimonies of people, what I felt that role of doctors are also very important to strengthen the network. So if the doctors can also be
okay, so you're making the name longer now. Not a problem. The idea is there. We make doctors, journalists, academics, judges, all of them part of the network. We'll have to think of how to do it. Lena.
Thank you. I'm mainly working in forest areas, tribal areas and very remote rural areas. And for last 16 years, what I have seen and I have reported, like in Kutch, if suppose I give an example, like there are more than 80 medicinal plants growing in the wild area which are used by the local traditional birth attendants, midwives, daima. और इन मेडिसिनल प्लांट्स की हेल्प से वो हर तरह का रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ केयर करती आई और इस सिस्टम की वजह से उस बहुत ही पिछड़े हुए उस ट्राइबल या एकदम रिमोट रूरल एरियाज हैं वहाँ की महिलाओं को फ्री में एकदम दवाएं मिली है, ट्रीटमेंट मिली है। फिर वहाँ कुछ होता है जो भी डेवलपमेंट के नाम पे होता है, जो भी रिसोर्स बदलता है, लेकिन अब जो एक नया सीनेरियो आता जाता है कि आशा या फिर वो ANM को जो ट्रेनिंग दी जाती है उसमें से ये जो ट्रेडिशनल सिस्टम है जो सदियों से चला आ रहा था वो तो खत्म किया जा रहा है और ये मॉडर्न सिस्टम्स जो लाया जाता है जिसमें ट्रीटमेंट लेने वाली वो महिला जो रोज की 1 कूला या 2 कूला लकड़ी मुश्किल से उठा के लाती है, उससे आधा चूल्हा जलाती है, कुछ बेचती है, उससे पैसा आता है, बच्चे को खिलाती है और उसी में से उसे अपनी ट्रीटमेंट भी करनी होती है, विच इज देन एक्सपेंसिव। तो ओके, सो मेरा ये था कि जब हम उन एरियाज में जाते हैं तो चाहे डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस हो या ये रिप्रोडक्टिव हेल्थ क्राइसिस हो या किसी भी तरीके का वायलेंस विद वुमेन हो, वो उस गांव की कोई महिला कभी नहीं बताती, वो उस गांव की वो दाइमा ज्यादा अच्छे से बताती। तो लेकिन ये दाइमा वो नहीं है जो किसी स्कूल में या कॉलेज में पढ़ी हुई है, वो है जिनके साथ हमें बिल्कुल लोकल लैंग्वेज में पत्राचार करना पड़ता है। तो अगर रूरल एरियाज में, ट्राइबल एरियाज में जब महिलाओं के संग काम करना होता है तो इनके संग जुड़ना बहुत जरूरी है। सो इनके संग फिर हम कैसे जुड़ेंगे ये
थैंक यू लीना।
थैंक यू।
I thank you all that you gave me an opportunity. मैं उत्तराखंड से हूँ और मुझे पता ही नहीं था किस तरह का एक नेटवर्क है। I was looking forward for a network like this. और मुझे जो कहना है वो ये है कि हमारे स्टेट में ऑलरेडी 2 नेटवर्क हैं जो इस तरह काम कर रहे हैं। एक तो साझा मंच करके नेटवर्क है जो गढ़वाल के 2 रीजन्स हैं, कुमाऊं और गढ़वाल में काम कर रहा है। और कुमाऊं के 7 जिलों में उन्होंने अभी काफी काम किया है डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस एक्ट को लेकर ही, और ऑक्सफर्ड ने उनको काफी सपोर्ट किया है शुरू में, लेकिन अब उनके काम की जो अवधि थी वो इतनी अच्छी रही है और वहाँ जो लोग जुड़े रहे उसमें लॉयर्स थे, एक्टिविस्ट थे, रिपोर्टर्स थे, डॉक्टर्स थे, बहुत अलग अलग प्रोफेशन के लोग थे और वो बहुत सक्सेसफुल रहा। तो अब उन्होंने उसको गढ़वाल में एक्सपेंड किया है, तो अगले महीने से वो गढ़वाल में लॉन्च होने जा रहा है, लेकिन वहाँ पे कोई फंडिंग और किसी तरह का एक्सपर्टीज वाला जो मौका है वो हम लोगों को नहीं मिल रहा है। अस्तित्व वो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है जहाँ मैं काम करती हूँ, तो अस्तित्व उसका एक हिस्सा है इस नेटवर्क का। तो मैं यहाँ रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहती हूँ कि आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अगर हमें ये लीगल वाले पार्ट में सपोर्ट करे तो दिस ग्रुप यू planning to offering to make, I think that would be a great idea.
Thank you.
In the morning onwards, we have heard so much about the DB Act and the law implementation of DB Act. But I think there is no such a suggestion that why can't we do a PA? बिहार से आए हुए लोग विधायक हैं, LOPA किया है और सच इम्प्रूवमेंट उससे लोग की इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में लोग देख रही है। तो क्यों हम एक PA या एक नेशनल लेवल पर क्यों नहीं कर सकते हैं इसकी अच्छा इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए? तो यहाँ जो स्टेट का सारे लोग जो एक्टिविस्ट हैं उनसे डेटा कलेक्ट कर सकते हैं और इसमें क्या इसमें कौन सा फोकस एरिया होना चाहिए और फंक्शनरीज को कैसे अच्छा सा अपना काम करवा सकते हैं, इस सब एरिया से देखकर एक नेशनल लेवल PA की जरूरत है, उस पर भी हमने सोचना बहुत जरूरी है।
Thank you, Jasmine.